I need you dealing with women 5 to 7% of your week, period. And I need you to be doing that for the next 10 years. All starts with money. You got to get your earnings up. Earnings are the first part to start increasing your overall skills to become more valuable in the marketplace.
Use your appearance as a tool. Never share your intentions or what you plan or your next steps. Even lie if you have to. Also, in general, in negotiation in business, let the other person lead. If you want something out of it, if you want to sign anything, let them lead. You will listen what they want, what's their budget, what they're looking for, then you answer.
I guess this is why they say the quote, like, walk in like you own the place. Walk in like you're about to own the place.
About 10 years ago when I was at work, an older guy came to me. He was like, hey, I'm going to give you some advice that somebody told me. Your goal every year should be able to fit into this suit. Second thing I want you to do is I want you to go get a physical. The reason why women live longer than men is because they take care of themselves more by getting checkups and going to the doctor.
If you think everything is a risk and everything is a scam, you're going to stay stuck for the rest of your life.
I'm your host, Miss Bree, to this video series called What's Going On in the World? Unhinged life advice that actually works. I'm going to be sharing my hot takes on this topic, and I want y'all to do the same in the comments. Let's watch a few clips together.
You work in 12 to 16-hour days. I need you coming home to shower, sleep. That's it. I need you dealing with women 5 to 7% of your week, period. And I need you to be doing that for the next 10 years. You gotta get around a lot of like-minded men that are going to push you. You don't need content friends. You don't need John Madden football friends. You need people who are going to law school, medical school, who are starting businesses, who are talking about investments. Those are the kind of people you need to be around.
And he is making perfect sense. As Gen Z say, lock in. Lock in on your goals. Be focused, dedicated, stay motivated towards the things you need to accomplish. Like he said, you don't need to be spending much of any time courting women when you are broke. As they say, when you're a brokey, you're supposed to be making sure to properly align yourself with the ability to make enough money to afford the life you want to live, you need to live, and then a woman can fit into that equation. So of course he's speaking from a man's perspective, is that you need to be working 12, 16-hour days. You need to be finding a way out of no way. You need to be creating the opportunities for yourself and properly aligning with others who are on a fast track towards success as well. This goes for women too. If you're not going down a traditional route of going to college to get a high-paying career, then you need to be serious about entrepreneurship, about creating products or services that you see an opportunity for so that you can then create revenue and income. Some women, their entire life strategy is to find a man who's already made it, swoop on it, and be taken care of. Nothing's wrong with that traditional trad wife concept. But at the same time, what if Prince Charming simply isn't there? Maybe he's not in your city, in your area, in your vicinity. Maybe the cards might not be even aligned for you, even if you feel like you deserve it, to be able to find someone that can swoop in and be that hero for you. To be honest, that's more of a fantasy nowadays, to expect that this amazing man is just going to pluck you from obscurity and just provide everything you need. It really depends on what you're looking for in a partner, your access to these said individuals, to be able to even be in alignment to pair up with someone of that caliber. I'm not saying that that doesn't exist. What I'm saying in an unhinged way is that y'all need to lock in on your goals, male or female. And that's just my hot take.
All starts with money. You got to get your earnings up. Earnings are the first part to start increasing your overall skills to become more valuable in the marketplace. You need to study success. Go study successful men.
37-year-old auntie advice, part 7. Number 1, if you want your life to look different, you need to start looking at your life differently. If you are thinking and seeing things the same way and making the same decisions, you're going to stay exactly where you are. Number 2, instead of asking how much does it cost, ask yourself how much of an investment is it going to be into my future. If you think everything is a risk and everything is a scam, you're going to stay stuck for the rest of your life. If I kept telling myself starting my life over at 35 was a risk, I would still be stuck in San Diego miserable.
You cannot be afraid to pivot. If your life is not going at the trajectory that you hoped for, and the actions are not giving you the actual outcome you seek to have with your life, then you need to realign. You need to actually take a step back and re-strategize the steps you need to take to have your life go at the trajectory you want to see the outcome. If your life ain't going the way you want it to, go back to the drawing board. Reevaluate what's important to you, the steps needed to get there. Be brutally honest with yourself. Because a lot of times we get in our own way. We do. We have insecurities that stop us from pursuing the things that we want. We have fears that make us think everything's a scam, making you become cynical about considering buying a course or considering hiring a coach. If you are not where you want to be, that means there's a disconnect. Either what you're doing isn't working, or you don't have the faith and confidence to take the right steps towards making it happen. If you want a life that gives you fulfillment, you have to be very honest with yourself about the steps you need to take to get there. Like she said, I would still be miserable in my hometown if I didn't radically change my life. I would still be where I don't want to be. Still not taking a chance on what I want to see my future to be. So you can't be the type of individual that gives up so easily or feels like it's not in the cards for me. If you have a desire, a vision, a dream, it is in the cards for you. You just have to find a way to order your steps that leads up to the outcome you hope to see. Easier said than done. Of course, easier said than done. But it's all about the choices that you make that allows for you to transform your life from where you are to where you actually want to be.
Said starting my travel business was a risk and a scam, I wouldn't be where I am today. And I hate to break this one to you, but you're too focused on motivation over discipline. Motivation is cute. However, your life is actually built off of what you do when you don't feel like it. One last thing, you are a product of your environment. Your environment is actually affecting you more than you know. This goes for friendships, relationships, business, everything. Your environment is either going to elevate you or keep you exactly where you are.
Swear to God, I've been walking into rooms and buildings as if I'm considering buying the place. And I swear it has changed my posture and like looking up and like greeting people and saying hi. Like I've walked into, in the last week, gyms and like convention centers and conferences and so many places where I'm like, I'm just gonna act in my head, and this is absolutely delusional, I'm going to act like I'm actually here to consider buying this building.
I would assume that this is going to give you the biggest confidence boost ever. Because you're basically telling your subconscious, I deserve to be here. I deserve to be in this room. I deserve to be amongst these people. You know what? I can theoretically one day buy this place. I think if you need to think that way, that's super healthy. So that way, when you enter these spaces, you have a certain air of confidence to yourself where you're not feeling insecure or triggered or uncomfortable about the environment you are putting yourself in. If you want to be around people who have a life path that you desire, you have to acclimate to that, even if you're not exactly where you want to be. Like they say, you have to walk the walk, talk the talk. You have to be well versed in the language of operating in those vicinities, in those places, amongst those people. No one's technically above or below you. Some people are just on a certain path in life or have accomplished certain things to put them where they are. That doesn't mean you're more or less valuable and that you don't deserve to take up space. I want y'all to unapologetically live your life in a way where you deserve to take up space. If you desire to associate or be in certain areas or have a certain lifestyle where it requires a little bit more out of you, rise to the occasion. That doesn't mean be a fool and go to places and pretend to be someone you're not. That's extremely unethical and immoral and fraudulent. Like, don't go around lying about someone you're not or pretending to have skills you don't. Work on those things. But don't be afraid to take up space and put yourself in environments where more is demanded out of you and where you can rise to the occasion of aspiration. You can use that as motivation and encouragement to be more or be better or to achieve things that you set out to see happen throughout your life. Like he said, when I'm feeling that little bit of low confidence, I tell myself, you know what? I could buy this place. I could buy this building. I deserve to be here. I have that in me. Even if you don't have the means, you want to put your best foot forward. So that way you are giving yourself permission to be in alignment with the life you desire. Maybe that's unhinged to say, and maybe it seems a little bit woo-woo. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on that.
Swear to God it works. Your mind will subconsciously start adjusting all the little nuances that might give out the signal that you're not confident. And then you walk in and be like, hello, is there someone I can speak to about membership services? And suddenly you're confident, and suddenly it feels like, I guess this is why they say the quote, like, walk in like you own the place. Walk in like you're about to own the place.
About 10 years ago when I was at work, an older guy came to me. He was like, hey, I'm gonna give you some advice that somebody told me when I was in the military. I was about to turn 30 at the time. I was 29. And he was like, you're in decent shape. Why don't you get you a suit that's tailored? And every year on your birthday, I want you to do two things. First thing is, your goal every year should be able to fit into this suit. Second thing I want you to do is I want you to go get a physical. The reason why women live longer than men is because they take care of themselves more by getting checkups and going to the doctor. A lot of times us men don't go to the doctor unless something's wrong. I took his advice. I got a suit tailored, and every year on my birthday, I throw that suit on, and it's been one of the best pieces of advice I've ever received.
That's powerful. I don't even feel like that's unhinged advice. Basically, achieve the health in the body that you believe you most want to have on a consistent basis. Some people want to be extremely buff, fit, muscular. Some people just want to be slender and lean. Get a suit or a dress tailored to your body. This will work for women. And then every year, make sure you can still fit in it. It's a way to make sure that the goals you set out for yourself and the things you say you want to have are being maintained. It makes sense to make sure to schedule a yearly physical. What's so unhinged about that? You have to be healthy to be functional. You need to check on your health on a consistent basis, whether you're doing blood work, whether you're doing physical exams, so on and so forth. And that's why women live longer, in my opinion, because they know that they have to prioritize those things because they may want to be a mother one day or have kids, or they just know that they need to check up a little bit more regularly because of our hormone fluctuations or going through different cycles throughout our life. Versus men, you basically gotta drag them by the chin hairs to make them go to the doctor sometimes. So I don't think this is unhinged. I think this is a healthy way to really make sure you're keeping tabs on your health and your fitness. Where's the harm in that?
I also go to get my physical done every year on my birthday. That way I don't forget.
I'm cheating my way through life since many years and it works, and it's basically stop playing fair in an unfair world. I'm not going to teach you as a woman how to get anything that you want. You need to stop caring what people think about you and always think about you, get what you want. Yes, in the end, you're the winner. This can apply for jobs, your own clients, being a content creator. You need to know your value before you start negotiating. You need to know what would your minimum go and then start high and stick to it. Let people underestimate you. Go with a full face of makeup to an important meeting. Who cares? Let people underestimate you. You need to stop thinking it matters what people care. It doesn't. It matters that you have the situation under control. And if you claim play around with makeup, hair, and outfit, you're actually the winner.
Put your best foot forward. You may feel like you're overdoing it by having your hair looking nice, your makeup looking nice, your outfit looking great as a woman. You're not. What you're showing is that you will always rise to the standard of excellence in everything that you do. It's a statement that you're making to the world around you, is that you want to show up as your highest potential best self. That commands respect, even as a woman. When people see that you put effort into being presentable, into showing excellence, and that's just your appearance before you even speak. And the same goes for men. Keeping their hair trimmed up nice, maintaining a healthy weight, making sure their clothes are actually fit to their body, tailored. It shows a level of excellence that people aspire to have themselves and that people respect inevitably. So it can be considered unhinged advice to basically always be your best physical self. But to be honest, you want to have a life in a way where people respect the work that you do, where people have some sense of decency in the way that they interact with you, because they see that you rise to the level of excellence as a personal choice, as your identity. It doesn't mean you need the most name brand expensive clothes and that you have to talk like you're above other people. It just means represent yourself to the highest level in everything that you do, from your appearance to how you speak, to the opportunities that you go after, to how you conduct yourself in general. So that way you can attract better for yourself. Maybe that is unhinged. I don't think so. Let me know your thoughts.
Use your appearance as a tool. Never share your intentions or what you plan or your next steps. Even lie if you have to. Also, in general, in negotiation in business, let the other person lead. If you want something out of it, if you want to sign anything, let them lead. You will listen what they want, what's their budget, what they're looking for, then you answer.
That's a great strategy, is making sure that you are thoroughly hearing exactly what the other party wants out of the deal. Because it's obvious that both parties want to walk away feeling satisfied. But a lot of times when it comes to negotiation, you have to make sure the other person feels, keyword feels, like they have the upper hand. You have to be thoughtful, considerate, making sure that you meet their needs or demands in a way where you're also benefiting just as much. But a lot of times people are comfortable making a deal when they feel like they have a slight upper hand, when they feel like they're getting a little bit more out of it than you. And it may seem super selfish and self-centered, but to be honest, with that level of awareness, you can make sure that you're positioning your value in a way where they're able to receive what they believe to be a little bit more beneficial out of the deal than maybe they think you're receiving from it. So in all fairness, life is not always fair. Deals are not always fair. It's not always a true 50-50 exchange of value. How you position yourself and being a type of person that's very keen on being aware of the incentives that someone else has is going to allow you to have the upper hand, even if the other person feels like they're getting more out of it than you. And that's my hot take.
Don't be desperate and outreach too much and look for things. Let things come to you. This is the type of energy that I really believe in. Basically focusing more on attracting than on looking for things. And as a woman, you need to get your emotions in control if you want to have your own business or self-employed or a big position in corporate, no matter where. Please learn how to separate your private brain as a woman, where you are fully a woman, and when you're at work. And especially stopping a people pleaser. Don't play fair in an unfair world. Think for yourself first, because if you don't eat them, they will eat you. And this is 100% true. If you go out here in a big corporate job or in your own business, you need to think for yourself.
She's spitting straight facts. I don't disagree with anything she said. And maybe I just might be a little bit unhinged, okay? Like, sometimes you might have to put in those 12, 16 hours to achieve your goals. Sometimes you might have to remind yourself every birthday, look, can I still fit that tailored suit or dress? Did I do my physicals? Am I catching up and staying on top of things? I think in life, sometimes the unhinged advice reminds you to stay locked in, or to focus on the things that really matter to you so that you can have a life you're proud to experience, so you can actually be content with the things that you've accomplished for yourself, whether personal or even professional. Share your hot takes below on this. To see more videos like this, check them out here. And I don't want y'all to miss my next one, so be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications.